We're kind of just...
Yeah, we just divvied up all our treasure.
You guys just divvied up your treasure, and you guys went to bed for the night.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was a pretty chill end to a day.
A long day of negotiating with wizards and trying not to get arrested.
As Jax goes to bed, he begins to stir in the night. And as you do, you see yourself walking in this very open, wide open area that is just, you're surrounded in black haze and fog. You walk and walk without end in sight, only seeing small flashes of light appear in the foggy smoke that obscures everything. And it's all really off in the distance, so all you hear is like a little like pop, and then a big flash, and there's nothing for a moment, then a big pop and a small flash. And as you walk, you find yourself treading back, entering the main courtyard of a large fort with high walls. People of all kinds rush about. Many are armed. Men run to man the walls, while those wearing common attire flee deeper into the fort in the opposite direction as the soldiers. You walk unsteadily a moment while inaudibly people wearing armor and swords are yelling at the top of their lungs all around you. Your vision is blurred as the darkness of the night. Everything's hard to see, and the dirt of the ground is moist from, it seems like a small rain that happened maybe a few hours earlier, and you find yourself almost tripping a few times as your boot kind of gets stuck in the mud. And as you walk, you hear the voice of a woman call out to you, just yelling, "Jax! Jax!"
Hello.
You see, as you look up, the fog and smoke clears for a moment, and you see your wife rushing to you and quickly embracing you. You look into her eyes, and if you want to describe her.
Yes. So she is also a human, just like me. She's fairly tall for a human. She's probably about 6'3", 6'4", with super long red hair and freckles and very, very pale skin.
And she looks dirty at this point. It seems everyone's in a there's a chaotic feel surrounding you. Everyone's rushing around, including her. It's dirty and raining. The rain isn't heavy right now, it's just a mist. As she embraces you, she kind of looks into your eyes, and she looks extremely worried, as everyone does, and she pleads with you, "What's going on?"
I don't know.
And as soon as you say that, you see over the top of the wall that is at least 15 feet above you guys, you hear a loud pop, and you see another flash in the night as you hear the stone shift a little bit and smoke shooken free from the impact and falling down a little bit. And she says, it's the Tresians. They're here. It's just like the sergeant said. They've been amassing, haven't they? And now they're finally bold enough to attack."
Damn. What can I do about it?
She looks to you and says, "I'm going to stay out here and help the old and the young. They don't know where to go. They never took well to the drills. I'm going to stay out here and help."
Stay safe, please.
She nods and says, "Please come back." And as soon as she says that, you hear another loud crack coming from the wall, and you look up and you see the towering large brick wall of the fort starting to buckle. Finally, the yelling all around you comes into focus, and you see a man dressed as you are. He's wearing a breastplate with pauldrons, with chainmail underneath falling down to around the knees. He wears a green sash across the chest, and you see the feather. Sergeants of the British military have feathers in their crescent helmets to denote they're sergeants. And you see his feather looks like it was snapped apart, only really the base is left. It's moist and wet in mud. His blade is drawn, and he's waving his hands over his head to direct soldiers before he spots you, and he starts to walk toward you. And you see, other than you and your wife that moment before, everyone's kind of moving in this weirdly slow motion. It's like everyone's walking around underwater. But he takes a few steps to you and yells out loud, "To the wall! Every man, to the wall! Move it, post haste!"
I gotta follow orders. I'm gonna run to the wall.
Okay, you go to the wall, and you look back for a moment. You and your wife share one last concerned look at one another before you turn and run off to the wall. You run for the stairs built into the large wall of the fort. Another man stands at the base giving similar hand gestures and is also yelling to the men gathering and rushing up the stairs. He looks to you. You see a man, light-skinned, thin-lipped, with a sharp, pointed nose and piercing eyes, give you a smile and hold out his hand for you to shake.
I shake his hand.
You guys exchange smiles, and you recognize this man as Royce Benton, a longtime friend of yours that you've known since joining the military. Rarely have you two been stationed somewhere where both of you were not serving at the same time. And he says to you, "Hell, it's about time you joined us. I've been standing here pretending to give directions for longer than I care to. How's Mary?"
She's doing okay. She's very concerned.
Hell, we all are. This is the biggest buildup I've ever seen on this fort. Not even sure if these old walls can take it.
Well, if they can't, we'll be there to finish them off.
He kind of like slaps you in the arm, and laughs and says, "Yeah, you're right. Now let's get up there." And he starts to go up the stairs.
I'll follow him.
You both ascend the stairs and arrive to the top and take your rehearsed positions on the battlements of the wall, taking up the bows that have been like placed out where your assigned positions are along with a quiver of arrows next to them. Smoke rises high in the air, and when looking down over the wall, like put your head just out from overside the wall, you see down and see gigantic scorch marks lining the walls of the fort from multiple impacts. You look over the field outside of the fort and see just outside of arrow range, so like more than a few hundred feet, you see hundreds of lit fires looking to be from fire pits and from lanterns either hanging on the belts of men or off of like tall poles to light up the immediate area. And you hear the constant clattering of swords and other weapons clattering against themselves or against shields, ringing in a frightening cacophony. One man passing back and forth in the wall behind you and all the other men lining the battlements. Another man with a feather in his helmet, looking like a sergeant. After a long moment of waiting, yells out, "Take up bows. Fire when you're in range," he yells.
I draw my bow and prepare for someone to be in range.
You see several tens of moments pass, and when you can just barely see the glint of the metal tips of arrows coming from the enemy, sailing through the air and falling just short of the wall, you eventually hear a loud war horn is blown, and a second pass, two more join, then two more, and then two more, and it kind of spreads out from the center back to all over the mass of men that are outside of the fort. They all give like a unified massive war cry before they all begin to move forward, marching in rectangular shapes, seeming like units of men beginning to march forward. You and everyone else begin shooting arrows. You shoot and shoot and shoot until you're pretty much out of arrows, and you see some men have gone down, but the huge massive men are mostly intact. And sorry, the burp.
Totally pulled me out of it.
Sorry about that. And as you see men coming closer and closer to the walls, you see this tiny streak of light skid from like the center, like more forward, like close to the front line, but not right at the front line of approaching enemy soldiers. This like pencil thin line skid across the air, making like a really high-pitched screaming noise before striking the wall in a massive explosion in bright fire. You can feel the heat rise up from the wall and a wave of fire shoot up just in front of you and all the other men. You feel painful pops in your ears as a loud boom is instantly replaced with a loud ringing as you feel yourself launched off your feet backwards. You fell back off the wall about 15 feet and hit the ground hard, and everything goes black. You wake when the ringing of your ears calms and the clattering of swords and yellings of men can be heard. You open your eyes and you see the bleeding, scorched face of Royce Benton lying still and unconscious next to you.
Jax kind of says nothing because he's still stunned.
And as you sit there, you look in the direction you fell from, and now you see it crumbled with a large passage paved apart freely, allowing Tresian men to charge through, and are fighting you all inside the fort. At some point, as men pour in, you spot a man who looks all too different from all the others, where most wear simple chainmail and simple leather armor, with swords and shields. This man wears robes of animal pelts and refined, well-stitched clothes, and carries nothing with him but a staff with a large ruby mounted on top. He slams his staff on the ground and men go flying, left and right. He does so again and again, and then he fires springs from the ruby that like shoot out like homing missiles and burn men alive. Before shooting out ice spikes that do the same thing, but just impaling men. He kills with barely lifting his hands, while better armored men remain close around him and kill any that come close.
How are our forces doing? How many people are left? Are we in trouble?
There's still a decent amount of friendly troops inside. I would say about 5 have gone down, not including you and Royce. But, you know, everything's still moving in that weird slow motion as before, and as moments pass, you see 1 or 2 more fall as maybe 10 to 20 men from like separate parts of the walls quickly descend the stairs, and some take up positions on the stairs and start shooting their arrows, while some draw swords and just charge. This fort isn't lost or anything, but the fighting has definitely transitioned into the fort.
Okay. I tell Royce, if we charge together, they surely can't kill 2 men like us at the same time.
You look to him and kind of shake his shoulder, and he's not responding.
Oh shoot. Alright, I'm charging in.
Who are you charging?
I'm gonna try and first I'm gonna try and kill the people defending the wizard.
Okay, so you charge forward, and as you get closer, it dawns on you how heavily armored his protectors are. And they're like massive. They're like all like 6'5" or taller. You get closer and closer, and you see they are in this like intricately designed, something you wouldn't expect to see from the Tresians. It looks more Gallic in design, as it's like this really intricate plate armor that has almost no openings, and they have shields, and they wield maces. And as soon as you get close, you kind of engage in battle with one, and you go back and forth for a second before he starts to really since you're still dazed, he really starts to take the advantage and quickly knocks the wind out of you before the wizard he's protecting hits his staff on the ground again, and you feel yourself go flying once more. You fly, you're not quite sure how far, before you feel your back slamming into a wall, bouncing off and falling face first down a stairwell leading to what looks like a cellar. You look to your left, and you see bodies have been piled here, moved to be out of the way of the defenders, or maybe they have been fallen attackers or defenders that have fallen here while they have been fighting to attack or defend the fort. It is completely dark out right now. It's the middle of the night. After repeated strikes of fireballs hitting the crumbling walls, the sky is completely thick with smoke, so even like the moonlight doesn't really show through or is really visible. But despite all odds, you see a ray of moonlight cut through all this smoke, mist from the drizzle that's getting stronger and stronger, turning more into rain. And against all odds, it slices through, and it brings this really fine emphasis on this pile of bodies, just long enough to cause your gaze to linger. It takes you a moment before you recognize the pale, motionless, and expressionless face peeking out from the legs of 2 soldiers that seem to have fallen onto this pile, and you recognize this feminine face.
I am overcome with sorrow.
It was the barmaid.
It's Lou.
It's like,
Lou!
Got Lou.
do you go to her, or?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so you go to her and kind of like move everything so nothing's on top of her. And you look over her clothes and skin are like from on the left side, from just below the shoulder all the way to just above her foot, is covered in third degree burns and riddled with shrapnel. There's no one big piece, but it's so many smaller things like embedded into her skin that blood pouring out from all of them, totaled with a large amount of blood loss. Is there anything you do in that moment?
I guess is there any like imminent threats to my person right now?
You're kind of down in this like little stairwell, so no one's really paying attention to it because all the fighting's kind of is in more the courtyard area.
Okay. I'm gonna try and like pick up her body and take it to a safe place so that she's not just a number.
Okay, you pick her up, and you could take her deeper into the cellar area, or you could take her back up the stairs to the, if you kind of run back and into this side door, it leads more into like the living district of this fort. You would know since you served here for a while.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the living areas.
Okay, so you pick her up and you start to run back, and as you run back, you see that on the opposite side of where the foreign enemy men are breaking in, the large like main doors of the fort open, and you see soldiers in strange attire start to march in. They march in rows of 10 with men in front wearing full plate armor, not unlike what you just saw with the massive men protecting the wizard, but they're carrying these large tower shields. One man standing to the side of the column of 10 men, wearing a very like Napoleonic type uniform, which is completely bizarre to what anything you've seen before this point, has his sword drawn and yells out, "Shields, root!" And then the loud thudding of tower shields are planted firmly into the dirt. You see British men, allies, look behind and see these men, and they look surprised and shocked, but also relieved that they see the uniform of these soldiers, and especially the guy that seems to be commanding them, are the colors of Wickshire. It's a green sash with a goat head on the pauldron. You would know that would be for Wickshire. You see British men dash to retreat, and after a moment's hesitation, Tresian men like begin to chase after them and begin to charge the shield wall. And not even making it halfway there, the man in like a Napoleonic uniform and raises his blade high and yells, "First row, present!" The Tresians continue to charge as the British men continue to retreat and kind of move to one side, each side of the row of 10 men. In the shield wall, on the right side of the shoulder of each man holding a shield, you see what looks like metal tip of a spear stick out. It looks bizarre to you, but that's what you see. They don't stick out far, just far enough to like really have them pointed towards the enemy for some reason. And then you see the commander with his sword raised drop his sword and yells, "Fire!" And you hear a bunch of small pops as smoke ejects rapidly from these ends of poles in tandem. And you hear this like fast moving whistle as you are up, like trying to move like back a little bit to get to more the living district. You hear the whistle of tiny objects soaring by you. Not super close because they see you're not an enemy. But you hear it like just fly rapidly through the air and striking these men. You see them jerking strangely and suddenly, many of them just falling back onto their backs, unmoving. Tresian men stop in their tracks and look in shock as a second column of the same kind takes up position to one side where there's still room of the already set up shield wall. Another commander yells the same thing as the first, "Shields root," and you see another set of 10 shields like really heavily plant their shields into the ground. You hear the first commander that came in yells out, "Line change, present," and you see men behind the shields shuffle backwards to the back of these lines. It looks like it's a row of 10 men with like maybe 4 behind the men holding shields. And you see the men that were initially right behind the shield men kind of move back and shuffle behind the very end of the lines, and you see new men lower those same weird sticks that you saw being aimed. And then you hear the first and second commander say relatively at the same time, "Present, fire," and twice the amount of pops and exploding explosions and smoke fill the air as twice the amount of whistling small objects fly across the courtyard. The wizard looks to the new line of soldiers in surprise and begins muttering something under his breath and moving his hands in a more animated fashion than before, looking to be using a stronger spell. But it looks like it might need like a second to work. And in that amount of time, you see a third column of shields beginning to set up before the other two fire off again. Another large amount of Tresian soldiers just fall down flat as you see the wizard, the ruby top of his staff glowing very brightly, Suddenly his head jerks in a weird fashion before he falls to his knees and slumps over to his side. And that's when you finally get to the living quarter. It is this small area that is surrounded by very tall walls that is on the northwestern side of the fort, the furthest side of where the Tresians could attack. It is made up of these multi-storied buildings of just apartments. There is no buying or selling in this area. It's just multi-leveled living spaces.
I'm assuming it's pretty vacant. There's not a lot of people around because they've all.
Yeah, they're all hiding in their houses right now.
Are there any like empty houses?
So you would know that a lot of people that just kind of live here, maybe to trade, maybe they're a spouse of a soldier that were sent away by the soldier because they didn't want them to get hurt. A lot of people have left. So yeah, you run off to one and you quickly kick the door down and it is empty.
I'm gonna just like, is there like a bed in this house?
It looks like whoever owned this left in a hurry. It's a large bed that still has sheets on it, kind of on the far corner of this living space.
All right, I'm gonna lay her down on the bed and just kind of mourn.
You lay her down and you kind of get on your knees and just keep a hand on her as you plant your head down and really just take in the moment as this dream begins to fade. The dark mist and smoke begins to surround you again, and you're back in your bed. You feel yourself back in your bed again.
Well, that was scary.
Does he hear other people being like, "Hey, stop all that wailing over there"?
You do hear the reveling and the partying that seems to be going down in the basement, or not the basement, but the main floor of the inn. This place doubles as a bar at night, so it is not the best place to sleep. It might have been one of the things to trigger your dream, as there's a lot of clattering that might sound like the clattering of weapons, as like maybe someone slamming a tankard against some wood or something, and that's like vibrating the walls just enough to reach your room.
Jax is gonna process what just happened.
It's the middle of the night, so do you just stay up for a while?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't get back to sleep after that.
Okay. So you sit in your bed for a while and you watch outside of the window as the moon sets and you see light comes over the sky. And it is morning again.
So is the gang getting back together?
Well,
Yeah,
I think you all
how
slept
long
in the same
have you
place,
been-
right?
Yeah.
Literally in the same room, but yeah.
Right, in the same inn.
How long did they say it would take to make that protection spell? Like a few weeks, right?
I think it was 20 days. 20
Should
days and he just
we-
started. So maybe like 25 just to be like, oh, he probably hasn't started yet.
So what should we do today, you guys? Do we
Well-
need to get anything done?
I still got that scimitar that I'm pretty sure it's too big for me and carrying it. Oh, also we gotta figure out what these jars of organ-looking things are for. See if we can sell them.
Yeah, how about we try to sell the organs today?
Okay.
Jax, do you know where we could go to sell organs?
Has Jax come down or is he still in his room?
Jax has come down, but he's kind of
Out of it.
he is clearly he's not
Okay.
fully there.
Hey, you okay, man?
Yeah, Lou's just like happily like, oh, we got these things. Let's go find a way.
Jax stays silent for now. He's kind of processing, but he gives like a shrug that clearly says that he's not doing well.
Bad night of sleep, I guess.
And then Jax nods.
I guess we could go try to sell these organs. I would assume that, like, we need to go find the black market to sell them.
I mean, we can take one to, like, I don't know, a hospital maybe?
Think a hospital would want these?
The museum. Is there a museum around here?
I mean,
Well,
there's
history
got to be
check.
like I feel like a healer might know. Is there like
Yeah.
a cleric nearby?
Yeah.
The healer.
I mean,
But
you would know
that's
that the Kirkstein are all clerics, and clerics are generally trained in medicine. There is a small hospital in the city.
Should we
Go to a
try it?
hospital, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
you're going to the hospital?
Do we
Yeah,
really
why
want to
not?
go to a hospital with a jar full of organs? I think that's a good idea.
But also, I feel like we know that these are probably elf organs, and if we bring them to the clerics, who are clerics of Got, right?
Right.
They probably won't take a fancy to elf
I mean, would
organs.
we know what the organs are?
You guys do. I think Lou someone made a medicine check, and you guys like generally, you guys assumed that they're probably elf.
Oh, so we're trying to figure out what their like purpose is.
I think you guys
No.
are trying to sell it right now.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
figure either or.
Okay, wait. Are there any cannibals in this town?
No.
Oh, interesting.
I think we should identify first, then... Actually, do I have the identify spell?
I think we find like a magic user. I mean, magic users can use organs, right? For spells.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Or... Oops, sorry. How about this? Does the hospital have a morgue?
Yeah, it would have a morgue, and
Let's
there's
go
more than
chill.
one morgue in Wiltshire. There's smaller ones dotted about, but there's one in the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the morgue. They probably know their organs.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
To the morgue!
We're now
Okay.
going to the local morgue.
So you're going to the one that's built into the hospital?
Does it have its own entrance? Because, yeah.
I mean, you'd have to walk through the front entrance no matter what.
Oh. Are there any smaller morgues in the city?
Yeah, there are. Jax wants to roll history. You know, there's a.
The exposed skeleton.
That's a good name, actually.
Also known as the exoskeleton.
Haha!
There's the Grim Garden. There's the Sinner Field, and then there's the Skeletal View. Those are the
Let's
ones
go
that
to the
come
skeletal
you.
view. Agreed. Friends,
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds
comrades.
inviting.
So you guys
Let's
can get
go.
over there. It's in eastern part of town. It's in a weird place. It's in like the industrial district, or not the western part of town. It's in like the more industrial district area, which is a weird area for a morgue because you would think it'd be placed somewhere more sacred and official.
Those accidents have to go somewhere, right?
Right.
Work accidents.
But you guys find it, and you see it's relatively small. It's a single story, but it looks like it has a couple rooms and maybe like one large room inside. You guys go in, and there is one guy at the front desk. He is this really pale looking dude, very skinny, with like this weirdly greasy looking hair, like black hair, and he kind of looks at you guys and says, "What do you need?"
Wait, anything? A heart?
So, this is a bit of an odd request, but we are dungeoneers. We go and explore dungeons, and we find some interesting stuff.
He nods and says, "Okay, well, we handle workplace incidents of all kinds. One of your crew died recently? I don't
No,
see a body."
we have found several samples of these, and
Can
he
you
pulls
hold
out
them
one of the jars.
One of them? Okay. Which one do you pull up?
I wrote them all down as the same.
Are they different?
Oh, okay. I think you found... Did you guys take the one that was in the wizard tower? Or the multiple that was in the wizard tower?
Yeah, I wrote down I have 8 of them.
Okay. Well, one had like a brain in it. 2 had the 2 separate sides of the lungs. One had like a piece of the small intestine, and one had like something you didn't know what it was inside.
Let's do the one that we couldn't even identify.
Okay, so you pull that out, and this guy kind of looks it over. He squints at it. Do you like put it on the desk?
Yeah.
He kind of squints at it, kind of gets like real low, kind of turns it around a little bit. Then he like looks to you and stands back up and says, "What the fuck is this?"
We were hoping you were to tell us.
Well, the one with brain.
He looks at it and says, "Well, I handle dead bodies, and I've seen some organs, but I don't know what this is. If you guys want to roll insight check, you can."
Lou thinks it's some sort of fleshy bob.
Wow,
Jax
okay.
don't know.
This guy seems like he really knows what he's talking about.
Okay, how about this one? Hey, here's the pull out one of the lungs.
Okay, so you pull out one of the lungs, and he looks at it and says, "Oh, so you're looking to dispose of this?"
Well, no, I'm looking to identify it and see if it's worth anything to anybody.
He kind of like rubs his neck and says, well, we don't technically have a doctor working here, so if you want to get identified, you might want to take it to like, he kind of shrugs and says, the hospital, I guess.
I knew it.
Oh, not bad.
And he kind of looks at it and says, it just looks like a lung to me. Is it being preserved or something? What's up with that?
Yes.
A very special lung.
Oh, and you don't want it disposed of? We can burn
No. I mean, we might take you up on that later today, but first we want to figure out if this, it could be the lung of a king.
Your king. It could be your king's lung. Wait, no, he's alive.
An ancient king. The church might have, could be a holy relic of the church. A saint.
Are you trying to persuade him right now?
No.
Okay. He kind of nods and says, "Okay, well, this is a morgue. We can bury and burn things."
Okay, well, this is a morgue.
Alright, fine, you don't want more. Dang it, that makes more sense.
I think we need to go to like a dark magic user or something.
Do you have anybody who happens to buy corpses from you? Like some shady vampire or something?
We'll tell on you, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
Cannibals.
cannibals, vampires, werewolves, anyone who likes to eat.
He kind of looks at you and says, I think you guys need to leave."
Alright, that's fair.
Are you sure you don't know anybody?
Was that a roll?
Should I do perception?
Actually,
Oh my god.
roll persuasion too, Jax. He says, I really don't.
Who rolls bribe and tosses a copper? No.
No, we're not bribing
I know,
him to sell
kidding.
stuff. That's not a good business proposition.
What was the perception for, Hannah?
To see if he was lying.
Oh, so you're rolling. So you roll insight, not perception.
Oh.
Really harassing this morgue employee.
Yeah. I mean, if anyone wants to buy a dead body, this is the perfect place to do it.
Yeah, they would come here. They would know this guy.
Unless all of the people that like dead bodies just make the bodies dead first themselves.
True.
I mean, that's fair.
Okay, so you rolled a 20. You see this guy's brows are kind of twitching in a weird way. He's dropping his gaze a lot.
Lou's already outside, by the way.
I guess Ophelia stayed back a second, and you're standing there like really analyzing this guy. He's like, it looks like he's lying, but he then looks to you and says, "You need something else?"
You know, these are really top dollar organs, and if you have some special clients, they might be on the prowl for these.
Roll persuasion.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You're gonna roll an
no.
awesome persuasion roll.
I have a -1 persuasion, guys.
He squints at you and says, I'll keep them informed. Thanks."
Come on, give us some names. We'll put in a good word for you. We'll say that you handpicked these out perfectly
Guys,
yourself.
okay. I go outside to meet Jackson Hughes. Guys, he's definitely lying. We should stake the place out.
We're just gonna watch people bring in dead bodies and just be sad to the morgue. I don't know if Jax can handle that right now after his dream.
Alright, well,
I
you
don't
guys
know
can
about
do
his
that.
dream.
I'm
He
gonna
hasn't told me anything about that.
take my jars over
That's
Yield the
true.
hospital.
Alright, let's go to the hospital.
Okay.
Alright, let's go.
He probably isn't doing his like dealings until nighttime anyway, so let's come back then.
Or maybe a university. Like a
Like if they're gonna
Uh,
study the elves.
yeah.
You guys would know of the College of Canon, which is kind of the university in town.
They have like a biology division.
Yeah, they mostly focus on law and science.
All right, let's do it.
And at this point, this is very medieval inspired, and so science is very singular field right now.
How many organs does this person have?
Yeah. Do you know of alchemy?
Yeah. If you smash it hard enough, it turns to gold.
Let's just draw their blood with leeches.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to the university.
Yeah. Let's go in the biology department specifically.
Okay. So you guys walk onto campus. It is very Roman in its design. It looks like like a Roman forum, with the two like the several really tall pillars holding up this like cement and rock overhead thing. I don't know what they're called. But you guys walk in and it's a very large main hall that like kind of splits off into several smaller areas. And you see above each hall kind of denotes like what is down it, and you see it's mostly like showing where like the number of lecture halls. Each one is pretty much just lecture halls numbers, like 1 through 10, and then 10 through 20, and then you finally get to one like to these two halls on either side where it's like overhead it says the office of so and so. It looks like it's the offices of professors.
Let's go see if a professor's home. They live here, right?
So what do you guys are looking for, like a biology teacher?
Yeah, we're trying to sell the organs to use
Research.
in class.
Okay, so go ahead and roll investigation. So you guys look around for a minute, and you talk to a couple different people. You like barge in on this one lady, and she kind of just gives you like this deadpan like stare, like, why are you here? And then you like you kind of knock on the door of another one, and they like open the door like, busy, come back later. You look through a couple of them till you find this one that says, like, in really small print, says biology instructor.
Heck yes.
Next to his name, and you see his name is Cynric Forsberg. He is currently in his office, looking like he's like looking over some papers. So you guys like knock on his door and come in. What do you guys say?
Hello, Mr. Forsberg.
Kind of looks to you and kind of adjusts his glasses. He's like this larger guy, not like obese or anything, but definitely has like a few extra pounds on him. He has this like big graying beard and this slicked back hair that is suffering from a receding hairline. He's wearing these those like graduation robes, but like maybe like an extra layer over that, and it looks very academic and official, but a little from our point of view out of date. But he kind of looks to you guys from like sitting at his desk and says, "Oh, hello. You all don't look like students. Something you need?"
Yes, we are actually adventurers. And we
interesting.
Have been adventuring, and we have come across several organ-looking things, and we'd like to see if you might know what they are.
He says, "Oh, interesting. Well, you definitely came to the right place. I doubt anyone else in the city could really identify anything.
That makes sense.
How about you show them to me?"
Alright, I'm gonna show him the one with the lung.
The lung, and you take it out and hand it to him, and he kind of like looks it over for a moment and says, "Oh, interesting." And you see he kind of puts it down for a second before he gets out the one book and opens it up to a very like he seems to know this book really well. He opens it up, and like within a few flips of the page, he's right exactly where he wants to be. And then he does the exact same thing for another 2 books, and then like looks over the lung again, says, "Oh, interesting. Where did you all find this?"
Around.
Around.
Actually, some of them were in an old, it seemed to be some kind of like hospice that was all abandoned and haunted.
Oh, interesting. Can you tell me any more?
That's about all we know.
Where exactly was this?
Next to that dirt poor war town.
The professor kind of like pushes his glasses higher up on his nose. Says, "Oh, interesting. I didn't know. No one's ever reported anything around that town. That's interesting. We'll have to set up a archaeology team to see what's over there. Sounds like you guys took care of whatever was inside, right?"
As far as we know, may have been.
I would proceed with caution.
the guy
We're
that was
not
there.
very thorough.
No, we're extremely thorough. What are you talking about?
He kind of nods, says, interesting. And he looks back to the jar and says, well, this looks like a very well-preserved elven lung. I would love to buy this from you. How much do you want for it?
What's market value?
Do we have any like business sense of how much?
Yeah, what can we roll for that?
Go ahead and roll intelligence.
Okay. I hate
Jax doesn't
bargaining.
know a whole lot about organs.
I hate bargaining in real life.
Yeah.
I don't want to bargain now. Oh god, my intelligence was really high.
Yeah, you rolled really well. You would know that in Breton, elves are super rare. The people don't get a lot of chance to study them to really any degree. The only thing they really ever get to study is like a half elf who wanders this way. Depending on how much this guy wants this, you can ask for a pretty high price.
But what's a high price? I have no understanding of this economy.
Well, okay, so I would say
1
asking
million
for
gold.
I would say asking for like 20 gold would be like really high, but like selling it for like only like a silver would be really low.
Okay, alright, I got this. Okay, it's 20 gold per an organ, or we'll give you the whole batch at like 15 gold per an organ.
So it's 20 for 1 and 15 for 8.
15 each for 8. I don't want to do the math.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Wait, no, okay, here. 15
Calculator.
Yeah. 15
120.
times 8. Oh my god, stop doing that. 15 times 8. There you go.
120.
Okay. Okay, so it's either 120 gold for the batch or, 20 gold per, if you just want a few.
You see him kind of like shrink a bit and kind of frown, baring his teeth a little bit, and he's like, "Ooh, could we get it for a little bit cheaper at all? Do you think?"
How much
Oh, man.
cheaper are you thinking?
These are high quality gold or high quality elf organs. You're never gonna get this opportunity to.
Right, but our funding from the Duke has been cut again, and
Yeah.
the College of Cannon's never been swimming in gold, not since Furgal and Nile have graduated a few years ago.
Ooh,
Well,
what?
maybe if you buy them at our price, we'll also, we're looking for stuff to do. We'll go find your, what you guys say, Furgal and Nylan?
He kind of like cocks his head to one side and says, "Are you guys aren't really from Wickshire, are you?"
No.
And he says,
I am, but not really.
Do I have any reputation to this person?
to this person, probably not. He's a very like he's a college professor, and you're a soldier turned mercenary.
Okay.
Those two worlds don't really cross a lot.
Wait, I've got an offer. 120 gold, and Lou will give a free like music lesson to the students
Hey!
in the music department.
He kind of like looks to you and says, "Oh, you teach music?
I play music.
Oh, well, maybe you could leave your resume. We could consider you for a position."
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of we go find you some more funding if you buy, like we can you can pay for the organs, and then we can help you in anything else you need.
He kind of shifts a little awkwardly in his chair and says, "Well, I'm not the chair of the college. I don't really handle the money or really talk to the master of coin about funding. If you would want to do that, you need to talk to the chair of the college. As far as price goes, if you're going to ask for 120 gold, I'm afraid that's going to be a price we really can't afford. Even if we do unless we get a lot of extra money from the Duke, I don't think we're going to be able to make that payment."
Oh, we can go talk to this Duke as well.
You know the Duke.
No, but I can know the Duke.
You can know the Duke?
Yeah, if I introduce myself.
You see his his eyes like roll back a little bit for a second and says, "Right, I can't make that. I can't pay that price. So if you guys want to lower it, that'd be great. Otherwise, I can't make that price.
To what? What should we lower it to? What seems like a fair price to you?
He says I could offer you 75 silver.
But
Probably. And that means no field trips for my students this year.
Yeah, not the field trips.
So do you want these organs, or?
He says, of course I want I'm not. How much money do you think I make?
I mean, surely the university gives you some funding, right?
Sure. And the funding I'm offering you now, we typically spend on field trips.
Isn't there like some other department that's not using their funding that you can take from? I mean, there's got to be some like big department that isn't using all their money.
I don't think you really understand the politics here, bud.
what about what if we go talk to somebody higher up, try and you advocate for how great these organs would be for your class?
He says, you can try.
Do you guys have any like amazing donors that donate lots of money to the university?
Our primary funding comes from the Duke, the Duchy, which comes from Duke Alwyn Fines, which is handled by the Master of Coin, Julius Valus, I think his name is. And he and the chair of the college, they interact with each other and come to fair prices for the academic year.
Are they available?
Oh, the chair of the college is a very busy man. You could try to get a hold of him. As for the Master of Coin, he is the Master of Coin. I doubt you could get an audience with him.
I can get an audience with anybody.
He laughs and says, if you can get the college more funding, that would be fantastic. I've told you what I could pay for today, and I think that it's unsatisfactory for you all. So, if there's nothing else, you guys could leave my office.
I mean, it's up to you, Lou.
I mean, I think we should go higher up the chain.
All right.
Go talk to the coin guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where he lives?
Where does this person of coin live?
I still think we should go stake out the morgue.
So do you ask him where he lives?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys are beginning to leave, and Jax turns around and says, "Where does he live?" And you see this biology professor has like put away his books at this point, and then turns to you guys in a bit of like a flustered huff and says, he owns a chateau in town. Maybe he's there, but I don't know. He works for the Duke. Maybe he's at the castle with the Duke. I'm not sure."
I feel like we shouldn't go to the castle trying to sell organs. I feel like that's how we get in trouble with the law again.
Yeah, and last time we weren't great about our story.
Y'all can do the stakeout, but if you do that, Jax is going for a walk.
What about the university professor? I mean, sorry, the university president.
Yeah, we could go there.
Let's do it.
He controls funding, right?
He, accordance with the Master of Coin, come to agreement on funding.
Alright, so yeah, he's as equal as the Master of Coin. Let's go to him.
Okay.
Ask the professor if he knows where the university president is.
As you guys are discussing this out in the hall, and stick your head back in to ask him, he kind of like looks to you guys clearly annoyed at this point and says, he's upstairs. Just take the stairs. He's at the end of the hall.
Thank you, kind sir.
I love
You guys-
poetry people.
You guys take the stairs and go up, and you go to the end of the hall. You see at the end of the hall there's only a right available, and you guys go in, and it's this huge, everything's made of marble, refurbished, reclaimed, like Roman-esque things that hold up the ceiling. I forget what they are at the moment.
Columns?
Columns filled with that, and a really like large, nice wooden desk at one end. But that's like all behind this like wooden makeshift wall that is like really elegantly carved. In front of that is a woman sitting at a smaller but very nice carved wooden desk, writing something down with a quill. And as you guys walk in, she looks up to you guys, stops what she's writing, puts the quill in the ink pot thing, and crosses her hands and leans in a little bit and says, "How can I help you today?"
We would like to see the university professor on a education-related meeting.
She says, "Oh, all right," and she kind of puts what she was writing like to one side, takes out this this folder type thing, and pulls out a stack of papers. Looks to you again, says, "When are you available?"
Now?
Well, the president is available right now, and she kind of like flips through the large stacks of papers for a bit, and she says, he might not be available for a while actually.
What if we say it's an excellent opportunity to increase funding for the school?
She kind of like turns her head to one side and says, "Do you represent someone, or?"
We represent the Adventurers Society of Wickshire.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, where does it go here?
I mean, don't I technically represent them? Kind of.
Oh no, I don't even know what you represent. I just
I guess I'm not the Adventurers Guild.
I'm
Kinda
14.
like, cocks her head to one side and gets a little excited as she leans in. Is like, "Oh, are you all with the Hunters Guild?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so neat. So why are you here today? Funding?
Yes.
Do you guys want to make a donation?
Yes.
Okay. So we can get the paperwork started to do that. We'll need to see the person you represent in person. We can write down a time and that he can meet with the chairman.
I
They
mean,
will need to meet in person.
well,
and then
this
they
doesn't
can
need to be this
discuss-
formal.
Well-
I mean,
That's usual protocol.
I have 2 shiny silver pieces on my person right now.
I'll have you roll persuasion, but I first want to know what you're trying to persuade her to do.
Just let me in to see the guy.
So before you do this, roll perception.
Okay.
So you look in, and there's no one sitting at the desk, the large desk. It looks like the chairman is out at the moment.
So there's nobody here, huh? Is he even here?
She crosses her hands again and says, "No, not right now. He's out at lunch.
Oh.
Lunch meeting."
Do you know which restaurant he's at?
I don't.
Is there a restaurant he typically goes to for these types of meetings?
She says there's a selection, but I wouldn't know personally.
How big is the selection?
She shrugs and says, more than I care to remember, to be honest.
Here's my card.
You have a card?
Do you have a card?
Let's see.
Oh, man.
Lou starts searching his pockets. I don't think I have anything for this. Well, tell him that that Lou Goy, champion of the Wickshire Adventurers Club, has an exciting offer for the university.
Roll persuasion.
As he winks and shrugs.
Roll perception. She says, "Okay, I'll make sure to do that." And she just gives you this like big smile, and kind of stares at you guys to leave.
This is giving me like bossing say vibes.
Damn, defeated by the secretary.
Do we want to? How many restaurants does Jax know of in the area?
I don't even know what the guy
can't
looks
be
like.
Far away. Like you can't get too far from work. So.
You guys don't know what he looks like. He didn't ask for a name.
Okay.
No, but,
Right,
we can ask the maitre d' at all the restaurants if what's his name is there.
How about this?
We don't know
And-
the name.
Let's just
We
go
know
back out
his
to the,
like, position.
let's go back into the hallways for a second, guys.
Under his position.
You guys are in the hall. You guys are in the
Let's-
hall outside.
Okay. Instead,
How
how about
far are you away from the door? Because she might be able to hear you guys.
far enough away? Let's
Okay, so you
regroup
guys are
here.
kind of more back by the stairs.
How about we go find a place, like maybe like some sort of storage facility where we can put these things for the meantime while we try and figure out where, so we don't have to keep carrying them around with us. Or even better, let's go find a bag of holding.
Is the bag of holding gonna cost us more than the organs are worth?
I don't know, it's just a nice thing to have. I've got a good amount of gold. What about you guys?
That's fair, we all do. Alright, let's go into the shopping district. Where does Jax know to go to find a bag of holding?
So roll a intelligence check.
Oh, it's gonna be a bad one.
At the same time, we should keep an eye out for somebody who looks like the dean of a university.
Oh, Jax doesn't know anything about bags of holding.
Jax thinks, we need to buy a bag of holding. Where do I buy things? There's a merchant district. I guess we'll go there.
Alright, let's go there and hope we find a shop.
Fair thinking.
You guys go there, and that's on the opposite side of town. Or, well, I guess
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
are in the kind of center of town right now. But it's on the eastern side.
Getting our
It's right next
exercise
to
in
the,
today.
it's right next to the living district. Like they're like right up next to each other. But the merchant district is you guys walk in and you know that the city is very like European and in Roman in real world design. But as soon as you enter the merchant district, you see that it is just this gigantic courtyard that looks like it's set up like a bazaar, like a Middle Eastern bazaar. With in the center of everything, there's just like this intricate like setup of like alleyways of just made up of like all sorts of like smaller shops that look to be also like makeshift living spaces. So like they're always ready to sell something. All the nicer shops are kind of built into the courtyard board, like the stone borders that are actually like buildings. But then you have like this mishmash of varying levels of quality like inside the bazaar, like common area. You guys kind of enter this area before even like entering the aisles made up of smaller shops. You get this like thick miasma of like weird foreign scents and smokes like pounding against you guys, like you just walked into like a jello wall. And as soon as you get in, just people spot you guys. They see like what you're wearing, and they like charge towards you like, fresh fish, buy my chicken. And then one guy is here, elephant foot. It's lucky, I guarantee.
Thanks. Anyone got a bag of holding?
So as these merchants are like assaulting you guys, you just keep asking, bag of holding.
I guess so, yeah.
They don't even really respond. As soon as you say something they don't have, they just like look like really annoyed and just turn away from you guys, like.
Damn, that's cold.
Or like if they're really enthused, they'll be like, I don't have that, I have chicken. And you see it's like this alive chicken. He's just holding you by the feet.
Oh, you should talk to it. You can talk to chickens, right?
Me?
Yeah,
Why would I want to talk to a chicken?
because it's an animal.
I'm not even going to talk to any animal we come across.
Why?
It's also
I
probably
would-
about to be like murdered. I don't really want to hear about it, you know?
I wish I could talk to animals.
I don't really want to hear about how a chicken is probably like going through crisis because it knows it's about to be like.
Do you know where we might find any sort of magical items?
Who are you asking?
The guy with the chicken.
You ask him, and he speaks with this like really thick accent. It's pretty obvious that he doesn't really speak Gallic very well. He knows like what he needs to sell what he has. And when you start talking about something like using a word he doesn't quite know what it is, he just turns and says and throws up hands in frustration, like forget it, and kind of like walks away.
Are there any like signs around that would indicate a shop of magic of some kind?
Are there any like dark corners with weird auras?
There's plenty of those. But really the only signs, like, you don't have to roll anything. The only signs you ever see are like small makeshift things like put on top or like built into like the structure of one of these smaller shops that are just set up in the middle of this courtyard area. This area feels very unofficial.
I have an idea. If one of us just... How big is this district? In size?
It's pretty big.
Aw,
It's
dang.
probably just as big as like the industrial district. It's just
I was
like
gonna s-
this one single wide open area.
I was gonna say that if someone just sprints around the district yelling, "We need a bag of holding," someone will hopefully call out.
That's one way to do it.
If you guys want to roll intelligence checks real quick.
Okay.
I guess we could do that.
Jax
I'm rolling
remembers.
saves this whole time. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, that's alright. Oh, so yeah, go ahead and roll intelligence.
But
Oh, that's charisma.
oh god.
Got to sweet talk someone.
Clearly, yeah. Oh.
So I think Jax would remember, like maybe half listening to the magic shop owner that you guys were talking to and couldn't remember the name of, which you asked for his name and I don't remember it myself at the moment.
Names are hard.
Names are hard.
It's really difficult.
The DM has to do so much more than remember names, so I don't do it.
The DM has to take all of the notes,
Yes.
whereas we can get bailed out by intelligence checks if we forget stuff.
Yeah.
It's an unfair world.
Hey, it's your world, man.
Yeah, you made it.
Yeah.
I just gotta make it more fair. So yeah, his name was Catan Douglas.
Yeah.
You remember while having a conversation with him, I think before you went to go to the Wizard Tower, that he mentioned briefly that magic items by law cannot just be like held to be sold, like held in a back room or on a shelf to be sold. They have to be created and registered under the duchy before being sold. The likelihood of you guys just finding a magic item out here is close to impossible.
Alright, sounds like we gotta do something else with these organs.
Let's go see what's this the guy who Samuel just said. I'm so
Catan.
bad with names. Catan!
Okay. So as you guys are leaving this district, you come across this one shop that this owner that's speaking like very bad Gallic is arguing with this lightly armored man. And you guys look over him and he has this he doesn't have any like recognizing emblems over any of them, but you see on like one side of him he has this really gross looking burn scar that looks like it never really healed properly, but he still has this kind of like longer hair that's tied back into a ponytail, who's like arguing as best as he can with the store owner. And as you guys walk past it, you hear him yelling, "You owed last week. You owed last week. You didn't pay. Where's the money?" And this store owner is like just in this like really broken Gallic, just getting really flushed and angry, not really saying anything of substance that makes sense, before producing this small bag, saying, all I have, and he kind of like snatches it up and says, "Oh, it'll have to fucking do, whatever." And he kind of like walks away, almost like knocking into you, Jax, and you hear him just grumble, "Watch it." Then he kind of like looks up for a second to look at you, and then takes a step away, then stops and looks back to you and says, "Jax? You recognize this guy as Royce Benton."
Yo, what the heck are you doing here?
"Shit, I could say the same about you." And he kind of like goes forward and he's gesturing to do that like hand clap that like
Oh, yeah.
hold thing.
We doing
And
it?
you guys do it, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Just trying to make a living.
"Oh yeah, aren't we all?" And he kind of like gestures to the store owner, who looks like just really flustered, and says, "Life as a tax collector, not exactly pristine, especially after serving in the military for so long. What about you?
Yeah.
What are you up to?"
Just being a mercenary, trying to earn gold however I can.
"Oh no shit." No, I thought about doing
Adventurers.
that too, but you see, you like interrupt him for a second. He kind of like just looks at you for a second, like, and then he looks back to Jack and says, "Yeah, I was thinking about that too, but the pay's so volatile. I didn't seem like a good option."
I'm not sure I'm good at anything else, to be honest with you.
He kind of does that. He kind of like scratches his nose for a second and says, "Well, everybody's looking for tax collectors right now. You know, with the size of this place." He kind of like swirls a finger to gesture to the size of the bazaar. He says, the brown faces here never fucking pay on time, so it's like, they hire people like us to come out here and argue with them. Pays all right.
Yeah, and I think I need a little more spice in my life than that. I don't like the feeling of being cooped up in one city my entire time. I gotta move around.
Not cooped up in one city. Have you lived here like since you left the military?
Yeah, but I get out. I go on adventures.
Oh, gotcha. Sure, yeah, I get that. Hey, so you're a mercenary now, right?
Yep.
And I was hearing about a mercenary group the other day. Got hired by the Hunters Guild. Apparently they got jumped by some pretty, nothing to joke about magic users. Some elves from another place. You know anything about that?
Those guys weren't that tough.
Weren't that you mean you fought them?
That we did.
No shit.
Was that cult person?
Yeah, so you guys wouldn't recognize that he's talking about the
That
cult
was,
people.
yeah. That was Lou.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
and you
that's-
see
that's-
Royce is
that's
like,
what he's-
oh, they were part of a cult?
There was some weird religious stuff there. I'm
Well,
I'm not
how
sure
could
what
you
it all
tell? Were they
means.
wearing some like iconography or something?
I just
Jax
was
kind of
very-
looks at Ophelia.
This whole time, I'm just like very tall and standing out from the crowd and looking very awkward.
Yeah, everybody looks at you.
Yeah. I just feel like, I guess technically they're a cult.
He kind of looks at you and says, what do you mean technically?
I just mean that they have some very convincing ideologies, but I guess they're a little creepy.
Oh, you know who they are?
No, we've ran into somebody on the road who's an ex-member.
Oh yeah? Roll persuasion.
Okay.
Don't lie to my friend.
Okay, he says, oh yeah? What? That's some crazy odds. Was he like running from these other guys or something?
Yeah, they got away from the cult after they realized it was a cult. That happens a lot with cults.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, yeah, I heard they're no joke. I heard they're really using all kinds of magic and shit. And that was you. And he's like looking at you, Jax.
And I nod. Or
He
Jax
doesn't know
nods.
magic. I don't
He
know
says that-
magic.
Roll deception.
Again? I'm a tax collector.
Oh, okay. You say that and he kind of just like doesn't like pay you much mind.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know magic either. And he kind of like, you see him kind of like scratch his nose again. He kind of like looks around, kind of like looks over his shoulder, not nervously. It looks like it's just a practice thing he does. And he kind of like steps in a little close to you and says, hey, if you're looking for some mercenary work, I got some. My employer pays pretty well too.
Why does it sound like he's flirting with you?
Yeah. For you, Royce, I'll do whatever.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
And he kind of like puts out his hand before you do like clasp it again.
Oh yeah, we're doing
And you
it.
guys do it. And he's like, yeah, okay, great. So okay. I've gotten word that this like rogue group of like adventurers, like guys like you guys, are planning on an ambush on my employer, and we're a bit, we don't really actively employ mercenaries, so my boss has been telling me, hey, if you're out and about, see any good talent, you should point them in the right direction, see if they're worth anything. And me and you know each other pretty well, so hey, why not? You should do the job.
I look to the group for approval.
I just look very awkward and unsure.
Yeah. Not really doing anything else that's pressing.
You see Hans is hiding behind Ophelia.
We've got some time to kill, so why not?
Great, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, my employer, he did mention to me that doing this job he'd be willing to pay 100 gold each.
Oh.
That's much better than the college.
Yeah.
You see him standing there like, why the fuck are you fucking around with the college?
We just
Long story.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know
Okay.
anybody who wants to buy some organs?
Oh my God.
He's like, organs?
They're preserved. They're not fresh. They're preserved. Preserved organs. I should specify.
Why the fuck are you carrying around preserved organs?
Because they could be significant.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyways, we don't got all the information just yet, but you still live in the same place?
Yeah.
I'll send over somebody when we got all the information. won't take more than a day or two. I would think. I'll send you a note. Then we can meet up over at the Forever Drip.
All right.
Then we can head out to take out these fuckers. I want to take out my boss.
Nice. You coming with us on this expedition?
Oh yeah, I'm down.
Oh, we're back at it again, just like old times, eh?
I think so, man.
Oh, that'll be fun.
All right. Well, I gotta get going. I got some more people to talk to before the sun falls. So I'll be seeing you later.
What do I roll to get a vibe on this guy?
So roll insight.
Okay.
So Jason, you think he's acting? You can't get a read on him. He seems like he's just working his job and he's doing what his boss asked him to get a. He's found some talent. He's found a guy he trusts. Like, why not? It makes sense. Yeah. Ophelia, you look at this guy. He seems pretty shifty. Like,
yeah.
Maybe not working for the best guy. You know, maybe talking to people isn't the most accurate word that he should be using.
Okay. Is he gone by?
Yeah, he says, I'll be seeing you in a day or two, Jax. Just keep posted. It should be over in no time. 100 gold richer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he kind of like turns and walks away.
Okay, then I kind of do like a little group huddle. I'm like, guys, there was something off about him.
Oh, yeah, he offered money.
Yeah, I know, and like, I'm not saying we shouldn't take it, but like, let's be cautious around him. There's something not right here.
He's my friend. He'd never do anything to hurt us, especially me.
You guys have had some time apart. You never know.
Actually, he's been following us this whole time.
Would Ophelia know that we've like how long we've been apart since I haven't told them anything?
No, she knows nothing about your guys' relationship.
I mean, I'm gonna assume you guys haven't been together in the last like little bit. Anyways, I'm not saying that we need to like completely ignore this thing. Like, we can go for it, but the price seems high and he seems shifty, so let's just be on our guard.
Yeah, alright.
Okay, and then you guys said you wanted to go back to the magic shop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys leave the bazaar, you get assaulted by a couple more small merchants as you leave.
Before we head out, Lou asks Jax, you know what language these guys, is their first language?
Does Jax know?
You can roll...
I guess yeah.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
You two are pretty well traveled, or Lou is pretty well traveled. I assume you've been kind of all over the continent, right? Or
yeah.
Okay. And then Jax would know because he talks with other people and they complain about people working in the bazaar merchant district. You guys would kind of gather that these are people kind of all over, mostly from more southern areas. There are people from the Tresian Empire. There are people from Vrogel. There are people from the west, like Galen. It's a pretty large mix. It wasn't just, it was just as much fair-skinned people, like Caucasian, as there was brown-skinned. But you two would probably surmise that the primarily Caucasian, white-skinned populace of Wickshire would mostly complain and about the darker-skinned people who take up this area. Since these are languages that aren't actually part of normal D&D, I'll probably ask you guys throughout the campaign if you feel like you would speak these languages.
Okay.
I feel like Jax wouldn't because he's spent most of his time in in Wickshire, the Gallic Coast. But Lou, would you say you would speak any Tresian?
Yeah, I'd say probably let's spend some time near the border. Not a lot,
okay.
But
Okay, so you might be able to pick up some words.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that'll be good to know going forward. So yeah, you speak some words. You speak like going to a foreign country and just what I need to know to get by. You know, I say thank you and no and where's the bathroom and the
beer,
basics.
please.
Beer, please. But yeah, all the words you hear are just please buy, I have a sick child, or just a few copper. It's just some what they can't figure out to say in Gallic. But you guys leave the bazaar area, the merchant district, and you guys make your way over to Potent Products, and you guys enter in, and he's not currently at the front desk area. He is probably like somewhere in the back. You guys, there is a bell on the desk if you guys want to ring that.
Oh yeah, ring that bell.
Okay, you ring it, and after like a moment, you see the door in the back behind the desk open up, and he kind of looks over all you guys, says, "Oh hey, yeah, I'm just getting started on the necklace. Your Ophelia wanted. What do you guys need?"
Yeah. Wandered around and we realized we're picking up a lot of stuff. Do you just wanted to know if you knew anybody who might sell a bag of holding?
He nods and says, "Yeah, sure, I can make that."
Who is this?
You guys are talking to Catan at Potent Products,
Your favorite friend.
the guy that's making the necklace for you.
Oh.
Can you make both things at the same time?
Yeah, like how
He
long
says,
is this?
He says, "Yeah, I could. I have a lot of projects going at the same time right now. I could squeeze it in, but it would slow down the production of the necklace."
Yo, that's already taken like 20 days.
Yeah, we can, but you don't know if anybody has one already made?
I think I told you guys before, but Wiltshire law prevents us from really holding magical items. We have to create them on demand. So yeah, we don't really have anything ready to sell, unfortunately.
If we go to someone else just so it won't like bog down his return time.
That's true.
That's
Is
fair.
anybody else? Do you know of anybody else around that knows how to make them?
He says, well, the only other shop I know of, because you guys might know that magic shops aren't super common.
We found that out the hard way today.
Oh, did you guys go to the merchant district or something?
Maybe.
Yeah, you're not gonna find a lot of quality over there. It's, I mean, maybe some silks or something. You know, something nice from you know, it's our only cultural exchange with the Treason Empire right now. But the only other shop in town is really Elder Tomes with Asvadius.
Yeah.
And then you see his eyes kind of glaze over for a moment, and then he says, "There is also the blink," in a very like robotic way. And then he blinks again, and he's like perfectly fine, like nothing happened.
That was normal.
Should we mention this to him?
You should ask about this. Why do I feel like we're always huddle whispering right in front of people?
No, I've got an idea. I lose actually. Hey, while we're at the market district, I heard rumors of a place called the Blink. Have you ever heard of that?
No. Why?
Shit.
No reason.
Okay.
What the fuck?
We just heard that it might have some magic in it.
Oh yeah? Well, I'm not. Yeah, I've never heard of it. But yeah, about the bag holding. You still want that, or?
Let's keep on with the necklace first. That's kind of a higher priority.
Okay. And as I get freed up from some contracts, I might be able to shave a few days off of that creation process. But you know, don't bet on it.
Okay.
Well, we like slowly back out.
Okay.
Well,
I
thanks
just
for your
like looks at you
time.
guys weird with a like a furrowed brow as you guys leave.
We'll check back in like a week or so.
He nods, says, "Gotcha. Sounds good."
Okay, what the fuck was that?
Sounds like some sort of spell.
No magic is any good.
So, Jace, you were a soldier. Jace?
Jax.
Jax. Yes, Jax. Did you ever hear any rumors of like a magical black market?
Would I know that from my travels?
Roll intelligence. Or history.
They're both the same. We'll do history. Oh.
Working as a mercenary, you have definitely picked up rumors of being able to get items that you aren't supposed to have off of a underground market in Wiltshire. That I don't think your character ever would have engaged in, and probably doesn't know much about. Yeah, so he probably wouldn't know much about it. He's definitely heard people at the Hunters Guild talk about it.
There are rumors of an underground trade, but I think we've had enough trouble with the law
Underground, like the sewer? Let's go to the sewers! To the sewers! Alright, let's go!
I advise against it. Do we really want to get in trouble with the cops again?
Well, we were so good with it last time.
Exactly.
You know what we could do is, eventually go to the cops and be like, hey, we should be special magical detective consultants.
Ooh.
We could.
Speaking
I
of
like
which, we
that.
still need to find out what happened to that murdered prince.
Okay, who would we go to get special permission to become magic detectives?
Are you asking the DM?
Yes.
Okay. You would need to go to an official in the duchy, maybe the College of Canon. Without an intelligence checks, I'm just kind of throwing things out. You could go to the Kirkstein. They might need something. There's not a lot in the way of a high magical demand in Wickshire, as you might have noticed in your time here.
Let's go to the sewers. Let's be
Yeah, I was
vigilantes.
kidding. I'm not going into the sewers.
Oh.
I mean, you can.
I mean, if no one else is going.
Well, what about our friends at the station? We can bring them some flowers and be like, sorry. No, we'd really like to pay amends by doing it right. Which actually probably makes a little bit of sense.
Okay, let's do it.
You guys are bringing flowers to the Kirkstein chapter?
No, not actually bringing flowers, but...
So you're going to the Kirkstein chapter?
What's an equivalent to bringing flowers?
Yeah. Go to the Kirkstein chapter.
Okay, so you go to the Kirkstein chapter. It's the same as before. It's this like big, really big domed, rounded structure, lined with Roman columns, like some of the older or other, bigger, fancier buildings in the city. You guys walk up to the entrance, and you come close to the doors before these two guys standing at the entrance stop you with a hand. It says, "What's your business here today?"
We're looking for Gaius and Gawain.
He says, "Why?" Or asks why.
We'd like to learn more about how to properly use magic.
He kind of like looks to the other guy that's standing on the other side of the door and says, well, alright. You're looking to get registered to use magic?"
Well, she is.
No, I'm already registered.
"Oh, you are? And what is it you need?"
She's looking to upgrade her registration.
Yeah, I want to become somebody that can use magic whenever.
He nods his head and says, "Well, alright, that would, you need to talk to our sergeant then. And he could get you going on that process."
Okay. Where's your sergeant?
He says he's indoors. He should be available at the moment. But
Okay.
as you guys are saying this, you see this young man sprinting to you guys with like brown hair, very skinny looking, not wearing like nicest clothing. Like dashes up the mini stairs it takes to get to the entrance of Kirkstein chapter building.
Dexterity save.
You expertly, with perfect technique, dodge out of the way of this child who stops just short of you guys. Perfectly like landing right behind Ophelia to use her as a meat shield.
Yes.
You see this child stop and like he's huffing and puffing. He says, one of you Jacks?"
Yeah, that's me.
There you go.
He's like huffing and puffing, and like he takes out a note that he stored in his like this like not very nice leather jacket, and hands it to you. It's from Royce Benton.
Thank you.
Take it from him. And as you take it from him, he like holds out a hand.
I toss him a piece of silver.
He kind of like looks at his brow kind of shoots up and he says, "Thank you, mister," and he kind of just runs off.
I open the note.
Okay, you open it up and it's like this really simple note, not in the best handwriting ever. A few things are spelled wrong, but it conveys what it needs to and says, "I was wrong. I need you now. Get over to the bar I told you about."
Dripping
He
something.
needs you
The
now.
Forever Drip. Forever
Yeah.
Drip.
right, let's go get our gold, guys.
Well, hold on. What about the sergeant?
I don't trust.
One of the guys at the door says, "You guys can come back another day. It's all right. The sergeant's usually here."
Better than the guy in charge of the college.
Yeah, let's,
Have you seen the president of a college around here?
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
Alright, so I
Sorry.
guess we're going to go see Jack's friend.
We finally do find the president of a college, but it's a different college.
A visiting president.
Diplomacy.
We have an opportunity for you.
Okay, so you guys rush off. The bar, I would think Jax is familiar with. It's kind of this like divier, more rundown bar that a lot of soldier and guard types like to visit after hours, after their shifts. You and Royce has probably shared a few drinks at before you two kind of lost contact for a while. So you know where it is. It's kind of like it's kind of in the industrial district, kind of in the middle of it. And you guys go rushing down, enter, and it's like your usual bar interior with a bunch of tables. It's nothing. None of it's like super nice, but it's all wood. The chairs are made of like thin wood, with stools at the bar area, and this really like big beefy, big mustached guy with mutton chops is at the bar, cleaning like this big tankard. As you see Royce like sipping on his own drink, sitting on a stool, and as you guys like push the door in, he kind of looks up to you and he stands up with his drink in his hand and says, "Oh, good, you're here. Yeah, they're striking a lot sooner than we thought."
Who?
And he says, he takes a sip of his drink and says, "This isn't going to sound great, but there's some previous employees that think we didn't pay him quite enough last time." And
Enough?
and he shrugs and says, "I think 100 gold per job is more than enough, but these assholes think they deserve more. So and they're out to get more. So let's go shut them down before they do anything really bad."
What did they do?
They haven't done anything yet.
Hmm.
So do you guys go?
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lou is definitely on the questioning end of this venture.
But free gold.
So is Ophelia.
Okay. So you guys go. He leads you guys. And it's in the industrial district. It's not far. And as you guys go running, he kind of is running along with you, Jax, and he says, "Yeah, we didn't think they'd get back into town for another day or two, but we spotted them coming in through the north gate. They did not look happy either. As I said, if they mention anything about money, just keep in mind we paid them more than fair enough." So he leads you guys. He leads you guys down a couple roads until you spot this really nice looking carriage, like that you would usually see in like noble people riding in. It has this like gold trimming. It's black base color with gold trimming, and it looks really like made of really fine wood, being pulled by 4 separate horses. With this guy in like a nice suit at the front, whipping the horses. But then you guys see it kind of disappear a little bit into this alleyway. You don't see anyone in this alley for the moment. You just see the carriage like slowly just making its way down this kind of alley, this back alley type route. You don't see any enemies yet. You guys can take up position wherever you want. Let's have everyone roll initiative, just in case. And I think that might be a good spot to end for the night.
Yeah, I got a pack.
Oh yeah.
I don't see initiative.
I think
It's
top.
top middle. Square box.
Oh, okay. There we go. I rolled.
Okay. That's all I got for tonight.
Cuckoo.
Cool.
Lots of running around finding stuff.
Yeah, we did a lot of things.
You did. I'm really glad you didn't go into the sewers.
Well,
I was 100% not prepared for that.
Well, now I know where we're going next session.
Yeah.
Yeah.